Hi, this is Pete from Idonics. Today I'd like to give you a little flavour of social media workflows within Ignition by looking at the workflow we built for the BBC's Scottish referendum coverage. Okay, I'm going to fire up Ignition. For the purpose of this demo, we have four screens allocated to this particular PC. Social media, obviously. I hope you know what that one's for. We have people and images. We'll come on to the significance of those shortly. And full forms TX, that's just so that we can show the final part of the workflow, sending graphics to air. Okay, back to social media. In this particular context, it was primarily about full form quote graphics. So that's how the BBC were using social media to generate full form quotes. So just quickly taking you through the screen, as in most Ignition screens, the pattern follows that we have existing graphics on the left hand side. In the center we have an editor with a preview, and on the right hand side is our source of graphics, our source material. In this instance it's social media feeds. So we'll start off by creating a new quote graphic. Okay, this has created an area in here where we can begin to create our graphic. And on the right hand side now, of course, we need some Twitter posts. So we have a single stream in this particular workflow, and to that stream we can add any number of queries. And a query can be a Twitter query or a Facebook query, or in the future maybe Google Plus or whatever other social media platforms come to the fore. So we treat all social media sources with equal prevalence. In this instance, we're just interested in Twitter. So we'll add a new query, okay, and we'll define its parameters. In this instance, I just want to follow a particular user, and it's the BBC's Nick Robinson, so we'll call it Nick. It's a user query, so we want to follow a particular user, and we want a live stream of whatever that user's saying, and it's BBC Nick Robinson is the username. Okay, and we'll save that, complete our edits, and if we now enable that stream by clicking on the query here, in comes our live feed of Nick Robinson quotes. Now on top of that, I'd like to add one more query. In this instance, I want a list of MPs. So we'll call it MPs. Query type, a keyword query is just so that we can search on a particular hashtag. In this instance, though, I want a Twitter list. So I'm going to choose user list. Again, I want a live stream, and the username Idonics. And I click the button here, which will go off to Twitter and find lists to find under our Idonics Twitter account. We have a couple of examples here. MPs, they obviously need to be defined as public lists. That goes without saying. So MPs, I'm interested in MPs, so we'll add contents of that list to my query, save it, complete the edit, and enable that stream. Okay, now we can see, as well as our Nick Robinson tweets, we can see an incoming stream of tweets from MPs. So let's choose someone. Let's choose a Nick Robinson quote. So here's a Nick one. Obviously we can search within here, but here's a Nick Robinson quote I'm kind of interested in. So I'll pick that one up and drag it across and drop it on our editor. Now you'll see an important feature here. Ignition already knows about Nick Robinson. We have a kind of notion of defined people in Ignition, and because we have an entry for Nick and we've attributed his Twitter handle to that particular person in Ignition, it's automatically gone off and found his picture. So a high-res picture we can use on our full form. So that bit's easy. We want to just make this the content of his tweet fit within the bounds of the graphic, so it wraps sensibly. We can obviously make any further edits in here that we need to, but I'm happy with that as it stands, so I'm going to save that. Right, I wanted another one. Let's create a new tweet, and this time let's find a George Osborne tweet. So here we are. Okay, he's at the Design Museum in London, so let's see what he's got to say about that. So again, we'll drag George and drop him on the editor. Okay, this time we can see we don't have a picture. It hasn't selected a picture, so the system doesn't yet know about George Osborne. So let's just see if we can find one. No, we don't want to have one on the system. So what we need to do is upload a new picture of George Osborne. So click the button here. We'll find him. Where is he? Here we are. Okay. Okay. Now there he is. Fine. So that's associated that picture with George. We've created a new person called George Osborne within Ignition, associated that full form picture with him. So again, perhaps in here we'll just we'll wrap the text appropriately. And this instance, by default, the full form shows his Twitter handle. I want to see his designation in this instance. So he's the Chancellor of the Exchequer. I think that's spelt correctly. It'll do anyway. So we'll save that, and there we are. There's our George Osborne tweet. To round up that particular part of the operation, we'll head over and look at the TX side. So here over on Full Forms TX, we've got lots of result graphics and things here. We're not interested in those. We're interested in type-ins. And here's a Nick Robinson graphic that we created, and we'll find our George Osborne tweet. We've added them into our TX stack, and it's simply a question now of playing them out. It's just worth saying, obviously, that by convention, perhaps we wouldn't allocate the same screen, the full form screen, TX screen here, to the same user or PC as whoever's looking after the social media input, normally on two separate machines. On the same machine, just for the purposes of this demo. So here's our full form stack, and it's just simply a matter now of playing them out. There we go. And then we'll see George's tweet. All done. There we are. Great. Now, I just want to briefly look at some of the background plumbing behind this. We touched briefly on this before. People and images. So people, this is a list of all the people within Ignition. So here's Nick. We'd already got Nick defined in here. So we've got his name, his designation, his blog address, and his Twitter handle, and obviously a picture associated with him. And if we just look for George Osborne, there he is. So there's George Osborne. We just added him kind of automatically into this list purely by creating a new tweet for him and assigning a picture. All done and dusted. Images. So these are the screens where we manage images associated with our not just with our people, but any graphics that require image assets within Ignition. So here's our full form quote image set. So an image set has certain parameters defined. So we know that for our quote graphics we need HD images, so they need to be 1920 by 1080 pixels. So within this area we can add or replace images, substitute new ones. So for example, if I wanted to add a new image, let me just let's upload a new image, and let's just go to my desktop, see what we've got here. Okay, well let's say we just want to use this particular image here, the BBC News logo. We'll add that. And here it is, it's added it, but because it's outside of the tolerances that we've defined in terms of size and aspect, it's warning us here that this particular image probably isn't suitable for use on our full form quotes. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete it again. Okay, the one last kind of knock-on that I want to talk to you about as a consequence of our people in Ignition is name supers. So I'm just quickly going to dive in here and give myself a a name super screen. So machines, this is me. So I want to give myself name supers TX. Okay, and flip out of admin mode again. So here's our name supers TX screen now. So this is the screen that our name supers operator would have. This is the TX stack for name supers. So let's add Nick Robinson. Here he is. We'll drag him, put him in the stack, and we want George because we've tweeted him and perhaps we've got him as a guest in the studio. So here's George Osborne. We'll add him into the stack as well. So without having to enter all this text twice, it's all in one place. Correct a typo in one place, it's corrected everywhere. We've got his Twitter handle, we've got his designation, and so on. So when we come to TX our name super, we can choose, rather than show his designation, we'll show his Twitter handle. Take him in. There's Nick, and now we're handing over to George Osborne, and want to see his designation. There's George. Okay, that wraps up our very swift demo. Thanks for watching.